Guys, thank y'all for coming. This is the lead king, Russ Ward. He's in the building. He is literally the king of this marketing shit. So I know a lot of y'all we're all learning marketing. We're all learning sales. This is the guy to listen to right here. He's done solar. I've worked with you. He's mentored me a little bit. He's done real estate, e-commerce. He's big into meditation. Last week we talked about meditation. We're going to come out with a meditation course here soon, Russ. And, thanks for coming. Just wanted to hear a little bit more about your story, what you're doing. And again, everybody welcome.
Hey, y'all someone's on Wi-Fi.
Everybody welcome him one time. Come on, clap it up, baby.
I appreciate you.
You there?
Yep. So who's your audience? Who are all these guys and girls? Is there any girls
here? We have a program of we teach sales, high ticket sales. So and marketing as well. So these guys are all learning, communication. We're learning how to sell, how to close, and also how to run Facebook ads as well.
Awesome, man. It's good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Do you have like a common niche, or is it a mixed bag of things?
Everywhere. So ideally, these are some people that, as you grow your business, as continue to grow your business, these might be some people that you link up with or looking for appointment setters. They're all trained in organic outreach, responding to leads and stuff like that.
Good stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
Totally. All right. So do you just want to kind of guide me through some questions, or what would you like me to do?
What I'm most interested in is kind of your story, how you got started. I know you have an amazing story, kind of, your journey from where you were. I know you've told me, but where you were all the way to where you are now.
Yeah. I love sharing this story. And the reason I like sharing it so much is because I was truly in a place where I didn't think I could come back from it. I through a series of horrible life decisions, all my own fault, by the way, found myself in a situation that seemed hopeless. And so what I want to start out with, though, guys, is every time I tell this story is I want to let you know that it is so important that you come to a place where you realize that whatever situation it is, it's your fault. And I was in a victim mentality for a long time, and I would have had this process happen a lot faster if I would have snapped out of that victim mentality quicker than I did. But, when you're in a tough spot and life sucks and all these things are coming against you, you can't help it but feel like, damn, this is unfair and this sucks. And you start trying to blame people. And then you finally realize at some point, hopefully, that, it's nobody's fault but your own. And once I started taking full responsibility for all of my actions in my life, that's when my life started to change. And as anybody who knows me closely now will tell you that I blame myself for things that I shouldn't even blame myself for. Like I want it all to be my fault. Like I was, for instance, and I'm going to get to my story in a second, but I'm going to get to I just got married less than 2 months ago. And it's really cool. It has to do with the meditation stuff. But my wife is like, we're just starting to get to know each other in a living environment. And she's like, yo, you're like bipolar at the end of every month. Like you're up and down. And she's just like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Right. And what I'm doing in these moments, man, is I'm stressing about, because I have a lot of monthly expenses at the beginning of the month. And I'm like, if I don't make enough money at the end of the month, my first of the month expenses are going to suck. And so she sees me go through this pattern. Right. And then I start beating myself up and saying I wasn't good enough this month. I wasn't this, I wasn't that. And, I usually throw a little internal tantrum for about a day and a half. And then I pick it up and I close more deals, and then I'm happy for the first of the month. But anyway, I still go through it every month. I have to check myself every month because we all default go into this mindset of how did this happen? Who did this to me? And it's all our own fault if we really look at it. So let's backtrack to November of 2017. I was laying on the floor with a gun to my head. I was, my house was in foreclosure. I was a couple of months away from filing bankruptcy. I had a $10 million lawsuit pending from the NFL, and I had a $119,000 tax lien. So that was my situation. At this time, I had been divorced twice already. I had lost everything of value or sold everything of value that I ever owned. And my kids pretty much hated me. So I was in a situation that was probably, if you said, write your worst case scenario, that would have been my worst case scenario. And there I was laying on the floor playing with the trigger on this gun to my head for 3-4 days straight. And the only thing that stopped me from killing myself on multiple occasions was the thought of my daughter finding my head blown against a wall. And I know that's graphic and I know that's terrible, but that was the only thing that stopped me from it. And I finally got to the point where I was just like, look, I was praying to God. I was like, God, just kill me in my sleep, man. So I could die a dignified death, and they won't have to find me killing myself. And I realized that wasn't going to happen. So I was either gonna suffer for the rest of my life, or I was gonna do something about it. And so I got up off the floor one day. I started doing a Google search, and I just typed into YouTube reasons to want to live. And and I found, fortunately, there's a lot of people on YouTube that are uplifting, man. There's like, we're here for you, stuff like that. And I found all kinds of stuff. I found everything from flat Earth to aliens to finally I found law of attraction and manifestation. And one of the key things I did when I was first making this comeback was I just found positive messages. And you don't have to be religious to turn your life around, but I found Joel Osteen, and a lot of people like him, some people don't, but his message of positivity really uplifted my spirits. So I would listen to this guy a couple of times a day. I would listen to some motivational speakers a couple of times a day, but what really helped me was law of attraction. And I know a lot of people think, oh, that's hocus pocus and it's all stupid and stuff, but it's really not, guys. If you want to get deep into it, I actually did I did like an hour webinar on it, and I'm happy to share the link with you guys. We could get a little bit deeper into that. But anyway, I started just getting more of a positive mindset. And as I did that, what was happening is I was becoming happy, even though my situation sucked. And the reason I was able to do that was because I was just forcing myself to put positive information into my head. I was constantly listening to motivational videos. My favorite guy is Eric Thomas. I like Les Brown. I like Joel Osteen. A lot of people like the big names like Tony Robbins and stuff too. I like him too, but I really like the people I could identify that were poor as shit like I was. And Les Brown, if you know his story, dude, he was born on the floor in Liberty City in Miami. Eric Thomas was homeless as a child. And I really related to these guys because their life was just trashed like mine was. So I decided finally I wasn't going to kill myself. I decided I had to do something with my life. And what I started to do was just lob up Hail Marys. I was just trying anything I could to just start to change my life around while I was trying to meditate and raise my vibrational frequency in my brain and to be more positive. And finally, stuff started to break in my favor. I got a sales job and I started selling flooring. They paid me really shit commission. I was making 4% commission. And I quickly became the top closer though. And what I found was that on my way to my appointments, I would do this pattern. I would listen to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, which would make me happy. I'd be dancing in the car, and then I'd listen to these vibrational frequencies, these subliminal messages, blah, 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 blah. It'd be like, you are the awesome, everyone closes, blah, 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 blah. And I would listen to these for 15 minutes. And what I found was I closed 15 deals in a row using that pattern. And then one time I stopped it just to see if it was that pattern, and I didn't close that one. And then I tested it again, and I tried to not close it. I said, look, you guys don't want this. You don't even want this stuff. I'm not even going to sell it to you. And they insisted, and they bought double. So that's when I realized how powerful this stuff was. I realized it was real. I realized that it wasn't just a coincidence, because it couldn't have been. But there was no way I could sustain that level of activity. My whole car was full of flooring samples. I was gone 12, 15 hours a day, and I was making like $200 a day because the commissions were so low. It was trash. So I had a real estate license. I had a little experience in solar, and I started slinging mud against the wall, and I started generating some real estate leads, started posting some results on Facebook, started offering to do some things for free for some people. And a couple of people gave me a chance. And as they gave me a chance, I got really great results for the people. I started to improvise and innovate a little bit. And as I did, I got into chat bots, I got into Facebook ads, I got a little bit into YouTube ads, and I just got a little bit of a name for myself. And people knew that I was fair and I would charge a fair price, and that I would never screw them. I would never steal from them. And they liked my story. They liked being part of the comeback story. And for anybody that has gone through tough things, once you get your mindset right, everybody likes to be part of a comeback story. They like to be on your team. They like to be part of, the people that were around you when you came back from nothing. And so I always included them in it. I said, hey, I appreciate you. I'm going through some really hard times. I'm working really hard to get out of this, and I won't forget you when I make it. And a lot of those people from the beginning are still my friends to this day. And so where things really took off though, was a few months into this thing, I branded myself as the Lead King. Because if you think about it, right, at first I was just Russ Ward, freelance marketer. Okay. But what sounds more exciting, Russ Ward, freelance marketer, or the Lead King, Russ Ward, right? Everybody wanted to work with the Lead King. And then I started getting people to give me video reviews and some written testimonials. And guys, this is so important. When you're starting this thing out, I don't care what you're starting, work for free in the beginning, at least for 2 to 3 people, get good results, and get a video testimonial. screenshot those results, take the testimonial, show it to the next person, do it again, do it 2 or 3 times. And now you can make a Facebook page, an Instagram page, you can make a website, and now you have some credibility, because this stuff is really, really tough if you don't have any credibility, because everybody thinks marketers are scammers. And so that's kind of where I was. I was hustling my ass off, guys. Like I was only charging $200 to set up people's ads. And in my first 62 days of doing this, I made my first $10,000. And that was from $200 offers. So I was literally sitting at my computer all day and all night, just setting up people's ads, praying to God that they didn't want a refund, because I was spending that money on like, the utilities or for food and crap like that. I was still poor as hell. So that was really it. That was the beginning of my comeback story. And as time went on, I just kept on, increasing my mindset, doing more things to produce positivity. I partnered with people. And as time went on, I was able to deal with some of these things. My friend was an attorney. He dealt with the NFL for me. And by the way, guys, the way I got into $10 million lawsuit with the NFL was before I started any of this, like years and years ago, I had a couple of bootleg e-commerce sites, and I was selling every Super Bowl the NFL ever had, the original network broadcast, on a website. It's called Super Bowls on DVD. Yeah, they'll never find
legendary.
out.
That is right? Freaking legendary.
Wow. I made a ton of money, right? Until the FBI shut down my site and the NFL sued me for $10 million. And then I had the $119,000 tax lien because I sold all these bootleg DVDs and never paid taxes on them. So my taxes were years in the rears, right? So what I ended up doing was my friend made a deal with the NFL where I turned over all my originals, and I signed a form to never to sell their stuff again. So I got out of the $10 million lawsuit. I think that was just to scare me, but it was scary as shit. With the tax lien, I went to an attorney. I borrowed some money from somebody. I went to an attorney, and he's like, look, this is my retainer, and this is how much it'll be, and we'll see if we can get you an offer in compromise. And basically it was, I proved to the IRS that I can't pay this, and they'll settle with me, right? So to pay his retainer, I had a car that was about to be repossessed. So I took that car and I crashed it into a wall. And then I took it to the insurance company and I said, hey, I crashed my car, give me a check. And they gave me a check. So I took that check and I gave that to the attorney, and he started working on my case. And then the car was repossessed a few days later. So from there, he got me a deal where the IRS was willing to settle with me for $6,000, borrowed $6,000 from somebody, and paid them off. So now I had my 2 biggest problems. I declared bankruptcy, lost everything, lost my house, and it was okay. And as this was all happening, my mindset started to improve, and I became a better person and a better dad, and my kids started to like me again. And life was starting to become more enjoyable. I didn't want to die anymore. I had a growing business. I had some friends. I had some people that I believed actually liked me for me, not because it was a pity party. And I just basically turned my life around by simply taking action, and so the key takeaways were really, I stopped being a victim. I took massive action, and I took a lot of action. Like it sounds like, oh, I just transitioned right into being the lead king. No, I didn't do that. I tried flooring sales. I tried all kinds I was selling shit at the flea market. I was doing anything I could, because I knew eventually if I worked hard enough that something would stick. I just knew it after listening to all this positivity. So ever since then, yeah, my stuff's just grown. I just improvised. I've reinvested what I've made into my business. And I ended up, I didn't want to stay in the city I was in anymore, because I just had a lot of bad memories. Everything bad that ever happened in my life happened in Pittsburgh. That's where I was from. So I ended up moving here to Florida, and had some things happen here. It's another story for another day, but I got deeper into meditation. I started really, really, truly believing in law of attraction. I ended up in an apartment at the beach last summer, and every morning I would go to the beach. I would meditate at the beach for 25 minutes. And if you guys want me to share the meditation I do, it's real simple, really, really simple. And then I also had this thing called a mind movie, and a mind movie is it's like a vision board in the form of a video. And so what I did was I took all the things that I wanted, I put it in a video, and I put it to some music that was meaningful to me. And I would watch that video first thing in the morning. I'd watch it before bed, and I'd watch it right before my meditation. And then I would meditate on the video. And the guy that I learned this from is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Some of you might know that name. And Dr. Joe teaches this. And so what he was telling us is that what you're doing is you're creating future memories. These things are really happening in the future, and you're just being drawn toward them. And I believe that. And so as I was doing these mind movies and these meditations at the beach every morning, I was starting to get some of these things. And I can tell you this, every single thing that I had in the first mind movie, I've got it in one way or another. Now, one of the things I wanted was a yacht. I didn't get a yacht yet, but I ended up at a mastermind in Mexico on a yacht party, right? And so one of the key takeaways about meditation that I'd love to share with you guys is that you have to be super specific. I don't have a yacht yet that I own because I wasn't meditating on me taking possession of the yacht. I was just meditating on me being on the yacht, and I got that, right? And then this gets to how I ended up getting married to my wife. Hey, how's it going, man? Tyree.
Hello.
That's okay. Can we mute that because it's jumping in there? All right. So okay, can you guys see me still? Okay, good. Yeah. So anyway, I started meditating on what I wanted in a relationship. In my past, I had some pretty bad experiences with relationships. As you guys know, I told you already, I got divorced twice. I wasn't really good at relationships. I was an asshole to people. I had a really bad attitude, and I ended up, in a lot of relationships with people that, they weren't so good for me and I wasn't so good for them. But I had a very particular vision of the kind of woman that I wanted to be with. I wanted her to be entrepreneurial like me. I wanted her to be beautiful. I wanted her to be kind and loving and caring and affectionate. All these things that we really just want if we're going to be in a relationship, right? I never really had that. Relationships I had in the past were out of convenience because I knocked up my first wife. Or out of the second one was convenience too. We were both poor and we ended up getting married and moving in together. So I wanted somebody that wanted to be with me and I wanted to be with them. And what I was doing though was, again, I wasn't being specific enough. I was dating all these women that were almost right, but there was always something off. And so finally I got super specific, and this is pretty cool. So on Halloween of 2020, this past year, I went out. It was supposed to be a Halloween party with the office manager of my office. And she told me she was taking me to a Halloween party. She was really trying to take me out on a date. I didn't realize this until I got there. She's like, yeah, come pick me up at my house. Me and my friend, we're going to take you to the Halloween party, right? So I get there and they're dressed up in their best super slut costumes I've ever seen. They both had giant fake tits and they were all popped out. And I was just like, okay, I don't think this is a party. So we ended up going out for Halloween, and I ended up being the chaperone of these two women, and one of them got sloshed off her ass, and I had to carry her back, and it was just a crazy night. We get back to her house to drop them off, and they try to get me to come in and legit have a threesome with them. no kidding, right? And normally in my past I would have done something like that. But I had this date set up the next day with this girl who I thought really, I just had this feeling that it was going to be good. And I was like, you know what, guys, I'm just going to put you in your house. You guys just need to go to bed. And they were all pissed off and pissy with me. And I went home and I went to bed. The next day I texted this girl that I had a date set up with. And I was like, hey, we still on today? And I was hoping to God she'd say no because I was hungover and I was tired. And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay, great. Now I'm going to have to go meet her. So I get there and I'm waiting. And she comes in and boom, I knew it as soon as I saw her. And you know how with COVID, they have to wear these masks and all this shit, right? So the first thing I noticed was her eyes, and they were awesome. They were like, I was like, damn, dude. As soon as I saw her, I knew she was the one. We sat down. We ended up having lunch for 2 hours. We sat on this little bench and talked for 5 more. Long story short, I proposed to her 20 days after that. And we got married on the 90th day we knew each other. So as you can see behind me, there's this championship belt behind me. That championship belt commemorates the best month of my life, which was November of 2020. That month, I made $32,000 in 2 days selling my courses on Black Friday. That was the weekend we went to Arizona. So I proposed to her in a helicopter over the Grand Canyon. And while I was doing that, I had my Black Friday sale completely automated, and sales were going ding, 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 ding. So as I'm giving her this ring on this, and I'm blowing her mind on this helicopter, right? We get down. I'm like, yeah, dude, I made 16 G's today. What up, right? And so that championship belt up there commemorates that month. And now I do want to point something out about that. It is extremely important, man, that we all have something that reminds us we're good for when we suck. Because I've had a couple shitty months here and there over the time, and I can look at that and I can say, hey, listen, I had a month like that. I can do it again. And we all need something like that. I don't care if you have to go to the toy store and buy a toy WWE belt. Put something like that on your wall. Make a custom one like I did. That middle plate there is a picture of me and her the day we got engaged, and it says Lead King $32,000. It's badass as hell. And that's there to remind me of that. That's not there to brag. So anyway, we got married on the 90th day that we knew each other, and we live in this house, dude. If I could show you this house, it's amazing. This was like my dream house from the meditations. I live on my own island. I have the middle of my house is a swimming pool. It's huge. I mean, it's huge. When we brought the kids here for the first time, they were like, dude, is this a mansion? Like, this is how badass my house is. And again, I'm not trying to brag on you guys. I pinch myself all the time. I'm like, and I honestly, sometimes I feel like an imposter in my own house. Did I really earn this shit? And but here we are. I ended up finding the woman of my meditations, of my dreams, literally. I ended up living in the most badass place you could think of, like right literally on the water here on Tampa Bay. And everything in life is just going exactly as I planned it. And it was all because I made it very specific in my meditations. And when I screwed it up, I fixed it and I didn't get negative. So I know that's a hell of a mouthful of what I just told you guys, but that's basically my story in a nutshell. And, that's where I came from and that's how I got. So I want you to take away from this, no matter what's going on in your life. And my God, I hope none of you are suicidal and I hope none of you have anything going on like I did. Anybody can do this, because I'm going to tell you right now, I am not that talented. I was average at almost everything I've ever done in my life. I was a very average student. I was a very average athlete. I'm almost average at everything. Where I will beat anyone at anything, though, is I will beat you in work ethic every single time. I will not go to bed until the mission is accomplished, whatever it is. And I just have this analytical mind that will, if there's a problem, I'll solve it. I'll either solve it or I'll pay somebody to solve it. And if you can do those two things, you can come back from anything in life. And I'm looking at your faces, guys, and I can tell all of you are pretty young people. And unfortunately, you're not going to get out of this. All of you are going to go through some adversity like I went through. Hopefully not as bad as me, but you're all going to go through some shit. You're going to go through some heartbreaks. You're going to lose some money. Some people are going to die in your life. Unfortunately, all of these things are going to happen to you, and it's going to kill you. It's going to hurt your heart like a motherfucker when these things happen. And you're going to feel like you can't go on, because I've been there. I'm 44 years old now, and I've been through this shit my whole life, probably more than most, because I put myself in those situations. But when it happens, remember the story. Remember, you can get to the brink of killing yourself and you can still come back. And if you take nothing away from that, know that you're going to go through some shit in life, but that is not the end of you. No matter what happens, that is not the end of you. So that's it. That's my story. That's what I wanted to share. And, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have on anything.
Y'all give it
That's
up.
amazing, bro.
Questions. Clap it up, baby. Yes. All right. Let's go around. Let's do some questions. I know we got some Q&A. Who wants to ask a question?
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, man.
Rusty, I know you're not going to remember this. I just looked it up on my phone just to make sure. This was in June of this past year. So I just want to say, first of all, thank you. Because I saw you in a group and I just hit you up randomly. It's like, hey man, how much for, a couple minutes of your time just to ask you some questions. And you were just like, spit them. And I was like, you were just like, go ahead, let's talk.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't even like extensive questioning. I just asked you a couple things. You were kind enough to give me your opinion and your feedback, which was amazing. Awesome. And then there was a conversation one time, and I'll never forget this. There was a conversation one time on my timeline about some comments that Drew Brees had made. And there were people going back and forth. And I chimed in, and you were kind enough to we had a difference of opinion, but you were kind enough to have a conversation with me about it. And I could tell that you were open-minded enough to listen to me. And I really appreciate that, because there were some other people in there that were just like spatting off very negative stuff. And you were very open-minded enough. And I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh man, thanks. I appreciate you bringing that up. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but Drew Brees was just at 10X Growth Conference. We just saw him speak, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
He was live in person, but yeah, man, I appreciate you saying that. Is there anything else I can help you with? Anything I can answer for you?
Yeah, we'll talk. I'll hit you up.
Okay.
Definitely. The answer is yes, but I'll hit you up.
Okay. Right. Sounds good. I love the shirt, by the way. I love the king crown.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's Biggie, man. That's Biggie.
Oh, Biggie. Yeah, I didn't see the Biggie put down there. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, man. Remember this face. You'll see it.
All right. I got you.
Awesome. Who else?
Yo, so okay, I've been producing music for the last 2.5 years now, and for the first year that I produced music, I saw so much massive growth. Oh wait, no, it was actually the first 8 months. So I saw so much massive growth with my 5th song that I released. But after my 5th song that I released, I really haven't seen much, progress with my composition and sound in general. Like I'm literally going ham at it, like literally every day, like 3-4 hours a day and all that stuff. But like, I just really, I haven't seen much progress. Is that a normal thing?
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna be real raw with you guys right now. So I don't know if anybody have you saw my recent Facebook post, but I got into a new niche called personal injury attorneys, and I got shiny object syndrome. I saw all these people making a lot of money with it, and I got into it. I dropped a lot of money. I dropped over $20,000 in this niche, and I lost every bit of it. I sucked at it. I couldn't get the leads to convert. I couldn't do anything. And just a few days ago, I just tapped out and I took my loss. And I just accepted that I failed at that particular niche, and I lost a lot of money. And I'm very proud of my ability to hang in there and make something work, but it just wasn't going to work. So to answer your question, yes, that's normal. You're going to come across plateaus, right? And to be honest with you, I'm currently in a plateau. I was working with real estate agents for a long time.
Oh, those are called plateaus?
Plateaus, yes. And I burned out on real estate agents, man. I couldn't stand it anymore. And so I went searching for something else to do. And quite honestly, the other things that I tried to do, they just didn't work nearly as well as real estate agents were. And one of those things recently was personal injury attorneys. And so yeah, you're going to run into that, man. But just keep plowing away. Like, I have no doubt whatsoever that the things I'm working on are going to work out. It really helps that I have a wife who is like, dude, it's amazing. She's like seriously a hot female version of me. it's so cool, man. And I was like, I'm never gonna get married again unless I find just the right person. And my ideal version of a wife is Grant Cardone's wife, Elena Cardone. I heard her speak one time, and she was talking about how they're gonna build an empire together, and it's all about the empire, it's all about the family, and it's all about unity. And I was just like, I'll never get married again unless that's what it is, and that's what I found, which is awesome. So yeah, to answer your question, Braden, yeah, you're going to hit plateaus, brother. And it sucks when that happens and you're going to doubt yourself, but just keep pushing, and you're going to get through.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Namaste.
Anybody else?
Man, I'm trying to think of a question. I can't, bro.
Yeah, I also want to add, this is a future TED Talk speaker. I guarantee it. He's already manifested. It's already in his reality in the future, like he said. This is real talk. That's one of your goals still, right?
That is, man. That's on my current video board. I actually hired a coach to help me get me into where I want to be about that stuff. I really want to talk about this type of thing. I want to get law of attraction into it. I have a story I want to share, and I feel like I can combine it with law of attraction. And I really think I can change some lives if I can get people to think differently. That's what I really want to do. By the way, guys, if you guys want to hear all the crazy stories of how I ruined my life, if you go check out my podcast, I call them on there. If you just go to Apple Podcasts and look up the Lead King podcast, I talk about all the stupid shit that I did that helped me get to ruining my life. Like, you guys will laugh your asses off. But I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, because it's funny and people listen. But number two, because you can just relate to me, man. I'm not somebody who had it easy by any means. I gave myself a really hard time, So you guys want to hear a funny story of how I came up with the Lead King?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So
yeah,
a long time ago, when I was going through the trash my life phase, in between marriages, I had this girlfriend, and she was crazy and I was crazy. We were crazy together. And so we were like, hey, let's start a business together. And she wanted to start a lead generation business. And I knew nothing about lead generation, nothing about marketing. And so we just threw some shit out there. And this is way back in 2014, maybe. And we came up with I came up with the Lead Kings with an S at the end. And so we started this thing. We put some money in a bank account, and we started a little LLC, and we broke up, and she stole it. She stole all the money. She stole the Lead Kings. She stole it all. And so, yeah, right. So later I wanted to do it again.
My mic was on. Oh shit.
That's okay, man. I wanted to do it again. So I went back and I found the logo. I took the S off and just called myself the Lead King as kind of like a middle finger to her whenever I started to get good at this. And she was one of those chicks who would like stalk your Facebook profile even if you block her, because she'd get a second account, And so even though she didn't say shit the whole time, I knew she was watching me, and I was just like, yeah, you're watching, aren't you? I took that business you stole and I blew it up, and I'm making money. And I was just imagining her like getting more mad as I was having success. It was kind of funny.
Hell yeah.
Love that shit.
I have one question. What I know you talked about Joe Dispenza. Joe's one of the first, when I probably back in 2013, I was working a job. He's one of the first people that kind of got me on, probably my alignment pathway, and really, my whole spiritual awakening pretty much, and then to the point I am today. What has been your experience, with his program, with meditation, and how is that? I know you've mentioned it a little bit, but go a little bit deeper into how that's completely changed your life, if it has.
Yeah, so I wasn't anybody who really liked to meditate that much, man. Like I was really big into the vibrational frequencies and being happy, but I would get so bored when I would meditate. And so I read Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural. If you guys haven't read that, it's an amazing book. And it just talked about all these benefits. And then I met another guy. You might know this name too, Jesse Elder. Jesse Elder was a guest mindset coach in the first marketing course I ever took. I took Kat Howell's course where I learned how to be a professional marketer, and Jesse Elder was the mindset coach. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I have to meet this. Literally booked a flight and I flew to Orlando to see him speak like 2 days later. And Jesse Elder was the first guy that literally taught me how to meditate, but I still was getting bored. So I just kept on listening to Dr. Joe. And finally I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll just try it. So I do the same one every time, man. It's the morning meditation. I'm happy to give you guys the link to it. It's just on YouTube. It's free. And it just walks you through. It's like a guided meditation of what to think about. And then it just ends with you being thankful and grateful for the things that you already are getting in the future. It's really cool. So anyway, here's where it was. If you guys get bored during meditation, like I did, just hang in there until you get some results, because just like anything you do, marketing, whatever else, right? As soon as the leads start coming in, you're like, yeah, I'm going to keep doing this campaign, right? I looked at it as a meditation campaign, and I was going to crack that damn campaign until it started to producing leads for me. And the leads were the manifestations. So I would go to the beach and I would just do the meditation. And look, you guys aren't going to believe this, but my shoulder here, during the lockdowns, dude, I was working out and I pulled something and I felt like I ripped my rotator cuff in my shoulder. Like I moved my shoulder past my head. I couldn't do this before. And I used Dr. Joe's meditations literally to heal this. I didn't need surgery for this. And I could feel it. And I know this is going to sound so freaking insane, but the meditation has happened. I could feel energy shooting into this shoulder, and I could go like this immediately. And Dr. Joe talks all about this, man. People do this stuff all the time. I didn't mean to heal this shoulder. I was just so into the moment of meditation that the shoulder healed itself. And like literally all I did was I would do the morning meditation, and then I would sit there and I'd be thankful for a little bit, just think of how thankful I was for all the things that I had and things that were coming. And then what I would do is I would listen to some uplifting music, and I would just walk up and down the beach for about 20 minutes, and I would keep myself in a constant state of happiness. And then what I realized though is, like, sometimes like around lunchtime that would wear off and I'd start to get grumpy again, and I'd start to fall back into the problems of the day. And you need to have a little fresher upper. Sometimes you just want to sit down and you just want to clear your mind and declutter your mind for like 15 minutes. And I would just listen to classical music and just close my eyes. So this stuff doesn't have to be like mystical and shit like that. It's just follow the directions and just clear your mind to be happy. And it works. I'm telling you, it works. I'm an example. Like I'm telling you, all you guys are super young, and you guys are probably way more talented than me. And look at the shit I've done with probably half the talent that you have. So just use what you have, and you'll have great lives.
Oh yeah. Russ, where can they find you on social media? What's your Instagram handle, or what's the best way to, if they want to follow some of your stuff, your podcast?
The best ways are my podcast, the Lead King podcast. I don't put much on Instagram. I'm not as young as you guys. my daughter told me before that only old people are on Facebook, but that's usually where I'm at is Facebook. My website's the best way to see everything I'm doing, theleadking.com. And the best way to contact me though, if you ever just want to shoot the shit and talk to me, is be my friend on Facebook and then shoot me a message.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much, guys. What we'll do is I'll drop his website into our Facebook group. If y'all want to check him out and, touch base with him, follow his podcast, show him love. Russ, thank you so much for coming. Seriously.
Hey, yo, real quick.
Yeah, man.
So, kind of like what you were saying with meditation, you just kind of, fake it till you make it, even though it's kind of hard at first, like you got shit running through your head, like stuff bouncing on the walls and stuff like that. Like with that one game, I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, man. A lot of things in your life, you just have to deal with it until it works, And
okay.
like when I first started doing meditation, I would sit there thinking, oh my God, I hate this. Oh my God, I hate this. Right. You'll probably do it too. At some point, your mind will quiet and things will start to happen for you. Just give it a little
because I
time.
started doing it a week ago.
Yeah, it'll come, man. If you haven't read the book by Dr. Joe, Becoming Supernatural, try to read that book or get it on audio, because I like to listen to it in the car. And
Okay.
it really talks about like the science behind it. It's not just like mystical shit. Like there's really neuroscience going on behind how all this stuff works.
So it's Dr. Joe, what?
Dispenza. You can stick that in there, can't you?
I'll drop it on the chat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and if you want, I'll give you the link to the meditation I do in the morning, and then you guys can all use it.
Yeah. I never passed language arts class, so I don't know how to spell out this stuff. So you're probably gonna have to type it in the chat.
Jack is gonna put it in the chat. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm copy and paste this.
Copy that in there.
One more question.
Muchas gracias, mi amigo.
Hold on, let me grab that real quick. I want to find this morning meditation because it's important I get this to you guys. Go ahead and ask a question while I find it.
Mo, go ahead.
So I just kind of like a broad question to whatever you may answer, but like, how do you just kind of knock out the noise and just really focus on, I mean, we just talked about meditation for like 20 minutes straight, but how do you really like, this is my goal. This is where I'm trying to get. There's so much distractions around me, but what do I do? How do I kind of put myself in that, position to just stay focused the entire time, or like just not have the noise bother me at all? I don't know how to.
So a couple things that were really helpful to me is I'll sometimes wear a blindfold on my eyes, because even though your eyes are closed, you're still going to sense like light moving around you, or so if you get a blindfold, that'll help. And then I use noise canceling AirPods or headphones on my ears, because I just want the sound of the guided meditation going in, and then I want my vision blocked out. And then it works really well for me is if I'm seated in a comfortable seat. Some people like laying down. I don't like laying down though, because sometimes I get so relaxed I fall asleep, and I don't like to fall asleep. So yeah, if you can get noise canceling headphones in a blindfold, that would help you a lot.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Let me double check this too. I want to make sure I drop the right link in there.
Yeah, Russ, we're actually we're going to build a meditation course. I asked them last week in our mastermind. This is honestly what sparked me messaging you, because I was like, I know they're going to love to hear from Russ. But we're going to do a little meditation course. I told them I'm no monk or anything, but I've been meditating for 5-6 years now. And I believe it saved my life, literally changed me around. And I want to kind of let these guys, learn it, find their way with it, even if it's a different technique. Joe's an amazing guys. Y'all need to research Dr. Joe Dispenza. Incredible work. He's done brain scans.
I'll put this in the chat too, guys. I a couple months ago, I did a law of attraction training. And it's part of a course I made, but that's fine. You guys can have it. It's like an hour long. Just go through it. It literally outlines exactly how I used law of attraction to manifest things. It's really cool. So check it out too.
Yeah, guys, I challenge y'all. What I'm saying is I challenge y'all to go out there and do it. Try 5 days in a row of meditation and see what happens. I bet it changes you for sure.
It will, man. If nothing else, it will get you focused and you'll have more success. And even if you don't start to get things coming into your life right away, you will get more focused and you'll get more success right off the bat.
For sure. Guys, thank y'all so much. Russ, I appreciate you again.
Appreciate it, dog.
Amazing. Y'all clap it up one more time. Unmute yourself and clap it up, baby.
Thank you so much, guys. I always appreciate the opportunity to share this story, because I think it makes a difference.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you so much, Russ.
All right, guys.
We'll be in contact, Russ.